Have you ever opened up Microsoft's Excel, taken one look at that giant grid of boxes and buttons, and just immediately closed it? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. So in the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain on this super powerful tool and really show you how to make it work for you, not against you.
Okay, let's be real for a second. This screen, it can look pretty intimidating, right? So many buttons, all those lines, but trust me, stick with me here. We are going to completely transform this view from something that feels confusing into a simple, powerful canvas where you can bring your ideas to life.
So to really get a handle on Excel, we gotta understand its structure first. Think of it like this. We're gonna start with the biggest possible view, the whole file, and then zoom all the way down to the tiniest little building block. It's like we're looking at a big binder, then a single page inside it, and finally, just one little box on that page.
All right, first up, we have the workbook. The easiest way to think about this is like it's your digital binder. Seriously, that's it. It's the entire Excel file. So when you save your work, you're saving this whole binder, which is perfect for keeping all your related stuff neatly in one place.
Okay, so if the workbook is the binder, what's inside it? Pages, of course. And in Excel, we call those pages worksheets, or a lot of the time just sheets. You can have a whole bunch of different worksheets all tucked away inside one workbook. It's awesome for organizing different parts of a big project.
And how do you get to these different pages? Well, you just use the little tabs you see down at the bottom of the screen. Each one of those is a different worksheet. Clicking on a tab is literally just like flipping to a new page in your binder. And whichever one you have open at the moment, that's what we call the active sheet.
All right, now we're zooming all the way in to the most fundamental piece of the puzzle, the cell. Every single piece of information you put into Excel, I'm talking numbers, words, dates, you name it, it all goes into one of these little boxes. And each cell is simply where a vertical column and a horizontal row cross paths.
So when you click on any one of those cells, you'll see this little dark border pop up around it. That's what we call the active cell. It's pretty much Excel waving at you saying, hey, I'm ready, you can type here. This little box, this is where all the action happens.
So, okay, we've got this absolutely massive grid of cells, but how in the world do you keep track of them all? I mean, how do you tell Excel exactly which box you want to use? Well, that's where Excel's super simple but totally brilliant coordinate system comes into play.
It's really easy. The whole grid is organized by vertical columns, you'll see those labeled with letters running across the top, and horizontal rows, which have numbers running down the side. Every single cell in that entire sheet lives at the intersection of one of those columns and one of those rows.
And that combination, the column letter and the row number, gives every single cell its own unique address. Think of it like a GPS coordinate for your data. We call this the cell reference, and honestly, it is the secret key to unlocking almost all of Excel's power, because it lets you pinpoint exactly what data you want to use.
Let's take a look at a real example here. This highlighted cell, see how it's in column B and it lines up with row 3? That means its address, its cell reference is just B3. See? Super easy, right? Getting this simple address system down is the absolute key to, well, pretty much everything else you're going to do in Excel.
Okay, so now we know what all the pieces are, and we know how to find them. But how do we actually do stuff with them? Well, for that, we need to look at our main command center, which is that big bar sitting right at the top of the screen. And that is called the ribbon.
The ribbon is basically where you find all of Excel's tools and commands, and they're all neatly organized into different tabs like Home, Insert, Formulas, and so on. Now, for our little tour today, we're just going to focus on the Home tab because honestly, that's where you'll find the tools you're going to use most of the time.
So let's start with our first stop on that Home tab, the Font group. This little section is your one-stop shop for anything visual. You want to make your text bold, change its size, its color, maybe add a border around a cell to make it pop? Yep, it's all right here.
And here's the key thing to remember. Good formatting isn't just about making your spreadsheet look pretty. It's really all about clarity. Using the right visual cues can literally transform a confusing wall of numbers into a sharp, professional report that anyone can understand in just a glance.
Right next door to the font group, you'll find the alignment group. Now, this isn't about what your data looks like, it's about where it sits inside that little box. You can use these tools to center your titles, line up your numbers to the right, or even do cool things like merge a few cells together to make one big cell for a headline. And having this level of control is just fantastic for creating really clean, organized tables. For instance, there's a great button here called Wrap Text.
If you have a long sentence, it'll automatically make the cell taller so everything fits, instead of letting it spill over into the next cell. It's all about keeping things neat and tidy. And for the last stop on our little tour of the ribbon, we have the number group. And this is a big one. It's super important. This is how you tell Excel what kind of numbers you're dealing with. Are we talking about money or percentages? Are they just plain old numbers?
Now, here's a really important distinction. Formatting a number doesn't change its actual value, just how it looks. So if you type the number 5 and then click the little $ button, it'll show up as $5.00. But behind the scenes, Excel still knows the value is just 5. And that is absolutely crucial for making sure your financial reports and your data analysis are both clear and accurate.
All right, so we've covered the basic layout and the main formatting tools. Now it's time to peek behind the curtain and see what really makes Excel such a powerhouse, its incredible ability to do calculations for you, automatically.
When it comes to doing math in Excel, there are basically two ways to go. You have formulas, which are expressions that you write yourself, like equals B3 plus B4. They always start with an equal sign. Then you have functions. These are like pre-built formulas that Excel already knows. So instead of typing equals B3 plus B4, you could use the sum function, which looks like equals sum B3 to B4. It does the same thing, but functions can handle way more complex stuff super easily.
Okay, we're not going to try and build one right now, but I absolutely have to give you a quick sneak peek at one of Excel's most famous and powerful features. It's called a pivot table. Just imagine for a second you have this huge table of data. I'm talking thousands of rows. A pivot table can take all of that and summarize it for you in just a few clicks. It's amazing.
I mean, imagine being able to instantly find the total sales for every single region, or figure out the average score for each student in a class, all without having to write a single formula by hand. That's the magic of a pivot table. And it's a really exciting goal to aim for as you get more comfortable with Excel.
So there you have it. We've gone all the way from the big picture workbook down to a single tiny cell. We've toured the main command center, the ribbon, and we've even peeked at the powerful engine that makes it all run. You now have the basic map you need to start navigating Excel with confidence. So, really, the only question left is, what are you going to build?